Okay. Hi. When I first used to do this talk a few years ago, I always had to explain to people why and what is science communication. I had to give the definition of it. If you Google it nowadays, you will find it everywhere. You will find science festivals, you will find science shows, you will even find a page in Facebook which has 1.6 million users, which is called I Fucking Love Science, which is very popular. So basically, is it a new trend? Or is it a social need? But in order to understand what it is, let's see why is it important to communicate science. It is important to communicate science because we need to know whether our children should be using the mobile phones or not. It is also important to have a view on the climate reality. Is it man-made or not? It's important to know how much sugar is in those drinks that we're drinking. So as citizens, we need to have a view, we need to understand some basic science. For journalists, there was this article back in 2009 in the New England Journal of Medicine. It was talking about prostate cancer, something about screening for prostate cancer. The same day, we had two different interpretations by the Daily Mail and the Washington Post. Screening all older men for prostate cancer could reduce deaths by a fifth, says the Mail, while the Washington Post says prostate cancer screening may not reduce deaths. I don't know what kind of drugs those two journalists were taking, but they certainly read the same article. For universities, natural sciences and sciences in general are the least popular subjects for people to study. And why is this important? And why is this unattractive? Because scientists are not very attractive in general. They are quite remote. They wear Google glasses. They do their research all day. And they apparently are not very, sociable. In addition, they don't get paid that well. But why is it important for people to like science? And why do we need scientists? Because scientists are correlated to innovation, and innovation is correlated to a country's development and prosperity. So the two main factors for hampering innovation in industry are the lack of qualified personnel and the lack of information technology. Now, for scientists themselves, it is important to be able to convey their messages. You ask them, what do you do in your lab? And this is what they come up with. But why is it important for them to be able to communicate what they do? Because people want to have the main say as to where the funding goes. People do not want governments and organizations to decide on where the research fund goes. They want to decide this themselves. Actually, I see a business opportunity here. I don't know whether you can see it. We'll discuss about it later. In 2008, my partner and I founded an NGO at the time, which now is a social enterprise, called PSYCHO, for Science Communication. The aim of PSYCHO is to make science simple via innovative and entertaining means. And PSYCHO consists of scientists, science communicators, educators, artists, and everybody who is interested in science understanding. I'll show you some tools, very few of the tools that we're using, in order to communicate science. Let's talk about science theater. We made a play, for example, which based on the facts and the customs of Christmas. For example, how can Santa Claus be able to deliver 800 million presents in one night? But only if he moves with the speed of light. And this gives you the opportunity to talk about the theory of relativity and the speed of light to the kids. And we made a comic show, which is 50 minutes in length, which is the attention span of a school kid. In fact, school kids have longer attention spans than us, so I'm going to be short. And we always use comedy, because as I've said before, comedy is the most serious means of communication. Whatever you say in a comic way, people just grab it, they understand it. So we've done 4 shows like this: the science of Christmas, the science of love, the science of environment, and the science of healthy eating and nutrition. We've also done interactive teaching in schools. This is a very nice project we did, where we wrote a curriculum about healthy eating and exercise, and we sent educators for 9 months in schools. In fact, we had 2 groups, one control without the educators, and another one with our educators. And we did an interactive way of teaching, and then we measured the results. We compared the results that we measured at the beginning of the activity and at the end. Another means that we're using is digital and social media means. If you go from left to right, from the top to the bottom, clockwise, rather than asking students to talk to us, for example, about photosynthesis, we tell them, you go and you film about a short video, 3 minutes in length, about photosynthesis. We don't give you any information. You make a 3-minute documentary, the 3 of you guys, and you come back with us. You upload it on our platform, which is called School Lab. It's a platform we've co-developed. In fact, the whole program is co-developed between SAICO and the British Council. And then there is a competition in the end. We piloted last year in only 800 students, and it went extremely well. And we aim to do it in 2013 in 101 countries, together with the British Council. So far, we've reached in Greece, within 3 years, approximately 30,000 pupils, and the aim is to reach another 50,000 within 2013. And the feedback has been great. This is just a couple of quotes from a person who is a doctor in the US who saw our activities via satellite TV, and a group of educators from Douka School here in Greece. What other means do we use? As I said, apart from science theater, we use festivals, we use scientific articles, digital learning, science cafes, animation, everything and anything that any of you could come up with to us and say, you know what, I've got an interesting idea how we can communicate science easier to the public, and it will be entertaining and it will work. So you've seen now the social part so far, what we do, but you're going to say, okay, you've got a nice hobby. How do you maintain this? What do you do? We do not quite like donations in the sense, hello, could you donate some money for us? This is not, I don't think, a very sustainable model. I think that you need to provide a service for somebody in order to have a sustainable relationship. So our model is the following. We will go to multinational companies or organizations, and we will study their business needs. Then we will study the social needs, and then we'll come up with a concept which we will implement and measure in the end. For example, in the pharmaceutical industry, I will not tell you the name of the company, but I'll tell you the project. We have a company who have 5 drugs in cardiovascular, for diabetes, for hypertension, for acute coronary syndrome, and 2 more, I don't remember them right now. They do CSR activities, corporate social responsibility, and they plant trees, they donate money to orphanages, and they promote some marathons. Everything is good, but completely unrelated to the corporate profile. We also study the social need, and we see that there is not any campaign, any prevention for heart disease in Greece. And in fact, heart disease is very high in Greece. So we come up with a concept, which is a campaign about healthy eating and exercise. We do a series of shows to 10,000 kids. Of course, you get the impact of 20,000 parents plus their relatives. So you basically educate about 35,000 people with one campaign about healthy eating and exercise, and the multinational pharmaceutical companies' profile now is much more closer to what they sell. We're not going to go into the classroom and sell the drugs, no way, but we create a profile for the company which is social and close to what they do. We did the same for the food industry, and we did the same for the manufacturing industry. For example, there's 2 projects on environmental science that we will implement, and the importance of minerals in our lives. It was about a company that they do what is it called? Excavate minerals, but people do not know why are minerals useful to us. And then if you tell them that if you look anywhere, everything contains some minerals from that particular place where you excavate them from. So you tell the people, what does this company do? What is the importance of this company in society in general? We have some global collaborations, as I said, with the British Council. We were lucky to be invited and educated by Al Gore last summer in San Francisco for the Climate Reality Project. In fact, today, if you go to the Climate Reality Project, it's a day they do a live broadcast for 24 hours about what is happening in the environment. We have a collaboration with the Wulandris Natural Museum and a collaboration with NASA. So, to close my talk, I would like to say the following. We're in a country like Greece where we're in a financial crisis. Wherever there is financial crisis, there is also social crisis. And wherever there is social crisis, there is opportunity for social responsibility, for social, entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship could be the solution for Greece because not only it will solve the social problems, but it is a steadier and slower way of progression and development. It's not like a bubble, like a startup bubble, which might work for 1-2 years and then it can collapse. It is a way that could potentially sustain and get Greece out of the country. I'll just finish with a joke, if you can understand it. I don't know if it's too mathematical. Okay, so you got it. Thank you. Thanks very much.